Welcome back to day 4 of Interpark. We are streaming live again to you from out of our glass studio in between halls 7 and 9. If you are at the fair, come and visit us and see what inspiring talks we have planned for you today. And if you are joining us from home and from the World Wide Web, welcome to you as well. We are going to start our English program today off with another talk about women in packaging and their inspiring journey. With me is AFSANEH NABIFAR. I'm going to read this out. Head of Global Market Development Biopolymers at BASF. Thank you so much for being here and welcome.
Thank you, Julia, for having me. So I'm excited to be here and also excited to visit Interpack. Today seems a bit more quiet because of the weekend, but you can still feel the spirit.
Yeah. You've told me this is your first Interpack. Everyone is telling us how great it is to be back after this 6-year break and to talk to people again at this very international fair. You are also going to be part of the special talk tomorrow, Women in Packaging. And like I said already, that is also going to be what we will talk about right in a second. But before that, can you tell us a bit more about you as a person, about your work with BASF and how you came to be in the packaging industry?
Sure, yeah. So you can see from my name that it's an unusual name, doesn't seem German or English. So I'm actually originally from Iran. I was born and raised in Iran, and I'm a chemical engineer by training. So I've studied in Iran and then moved with my family to Canada. I've done basically my master's and PhD in Canada, and during my PhD I had the privilege of visiting summer school at BASF in Ludwigshafen, and that's when I made the decision that this is my dream where I want to work. And after I finished, basically, then I joined BASF in the US, and through the years, then moved around and basically found myself in Germany. So when I joined back in 2012, BASF Corporation in Wyandotte, I was a research scientist making polymer synthesis in the lab, making some acrylic resins that are used for printing inks, and over the years then somehow always ended up in packaging for adhesives, for flexible packaging, and now since 2 years with biopolymers. And it's interesting to basically go through the whole different processes of packaging. It's very diverse. But at the end, it's all about protecting the products and the shelf life, and that's inspiring because it's so close to everyday life. That's what I love about packaging. Every time I open my fridge, I'm always curious, looking what type of polymer is this? Is it multi-layer, mono-layer? How was it made? And it's just fascinating.
I have to say it's a lot of fun to listen to you talking about not only your journey but also how much you love or are inspired by packaging. I really like that.
Yeah, it's for me it's like car for men, so packaging is my passion. My husband doesn't like it because always I'm at dinner table looking at different, so every time we open a pack of cheese or a sausage, I'm always looking, they have moved to monolayer, look at this. so stop working. But it's the passion, yeah.
Yeah, we already said yesterday that, I find all of this very interesting as well, but it's mostly because I haven't been in the industry that long and everything is still very new and you don't know that much about packaging as a consumer. So it's always very interesting to learn more about these things. So tell me, along your journey through the packaging industry and throughout your career, have there been any role models, any women that took on this function for you and inspired you?
Yeah, so I have to say I really love learning from experienced people. So along the way, of course, I have had many mentors, women as well as men. So, usually the plastic and packaging industry is a male-dominated industry. So I have to say I'm very lucky that I've had many male colleagues that were my mentors from a technical perspective, so they're always very open to teach me the craft and show me the way around. But of course also many females around that not necessarily from packaging industry but from different areas of the BASF that have mentored me and taught me to be confident and also to be bold.
Do you think that there are any specific qualities that can help women to succeed in the packaging industry?
Yeah, I think to be successful, you need some maybe very basic qualities that are not necessarily for women, but also good for men, and not only necessary for packaging, but in the whole industry relevant. And for me, what stands out is having a drive and almost like a fire in your stomach that you want to change things and you want to get things done. And also, as you start doing things and you're not sitting on the periphery when you take the leap, of course you learn more and more. And every time you do something out of your comfort zone, then you build your confidence, yeah? So I have to tell you today, I've never done something like this. I'm not known, so I have to say when I think about myself 20 years ago when I came from Iran, I would never dare to be in a live TV. Yeah? I was always the one that wanted to hide behind the others, but through the years you learn that you need to come out of your comfort zone, and that's how you learn. Yeah? And the other thing that I have learned as a newcomer in packaging is everybody knows everybody, so it's very important to be open to network, to build your relationship with different colleagues, and over the years to have the integrity and the trust built up, because then you can always pick up the phone and call somebody that you have worked with 5 years ago. And I think that's very, very important. That's what I've seen in the last 10 years, that, if you come as a newcomer, the only thing that will help is your network.
Mm-hmm. I think those are very wise words. Coming back to the theme of role models, I know that you have been briefed for this interview, and by the way, you are doing very well. Thank you for being here again. We do have a little surprise for you as well. We collected some thoughts from your colleagues about you as a role model, and I would very much like to read them out to you. Okay. So Jeanette says, AFSANEH is a thoughtful leader who takes a focused and strategic approach to address complex challenges. Mia told us about you that she thinks AFSANEH keeps impressing me with her obsessive desire to make a difference in the area of circular economy, a journey she is driving together with strong partners in a rich industry network, also full of passion, and it is beautiful to follow this transformative ride. And finally, Rowan said, AFSANEH embodies the spirit of authenticity, holding true to her own personality and values, and maintains this despite pressures to act differently. Very nice words. How does that make you feel?
I have to say I'm very proud of my team and also very honored to lead the team of experts and for them to accept me as a newcomer for biopolymers. But I'm really privileged to work with my team.
Did you think that you were such a role model for them as well?
No, because they are all of them such experts in the field. And for me, I came to biopolymers with no background in biopolymers and no background in basically sustainability and advocacy, but I just came with an open mind and a passion to drive things, and I think that's complementary to their expertise. So we are a great team together.
It sounds like it. And teamwork, we know that makes the dream work in the end. You've told us about the different stations that you went through along your career. Do you think that the packaging industry has already evolved during the last years for women, and why maybe?
Yeah, definitely I can say that we are on the right path. So we have moved, and you can see that already today, a lot of women on the fair, and this was not maybe the case 10 years ago. I have to say there are still some areas that maybe improvements are needed. When one thinks about the more technical processing, production areas, there is still very male dominant. But if you look more on the sustainability, circular economy topics, then you see more and more women in the area. So I have to say for me also, I have started from a technical role and evolved into more sustainability, advocacy topics, and I can say that for sure nowadays I'm very happy to be surrounded by a lot of women. Yeah.
Wonderful. So there's already an example of how this can work. What do you think are the challenges that women face in the industry, and how could these be overcome?
I have to honestly say that I think we have it today much easier than women had it maybe 10 years ago in the packaging. So a lot of barriers have already been broken. So as I said, we are on the right path. But I think the challenge is there are not so many role models for young women to see and feel that, oh, maybe this is the area for me because I can relate to somebody. Some young woman and or middle-aged woman that have been in the industry. So this is something that we need to work on, and that's why that I decided to be here, to show women that it is possible to have a family, to have a young child, but still be passionate about what you do and drive change in the packaging world. Yeah.
So would you say that fairs like these, but also the talk that is going to happen tomorrow, do they take on an important role for women in packaging?
Yeah, I think so. So basically, to me, that we need to start capturing women from early on, from the education system. So giving talks in such affairs where a lot of perhaps university students or maybe high school students are visiting, then it's important to be there and inspire the young women and show them that, I think nowadays the new generation is very passionate about sustainability, about reducing the emissions, and showing them the fact that packaging industry has a lot to offer, and we are actually, a lot can be done to address topics like sustainability and reduce emissions, increasing the recyclability. So a lot of interesting topics that are in our everyday life. I think everybody at home has a yellow bin and notices how much packaging is there. So it's good to know that packaging, as an area is very close to our lives and how we can change, because whatever we change in the industry, basically we directly affect our own lives. And I think for me that's very inspiring. That's what drives me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said before, it's just lovely to listen to you, and you really get that feeling how, emotional and how much you're driven by this entire topic. Are there any other aspects that you can think about that could attract women into the packaging industry and starting a career here?
Yeah, I think it's also important that once you have junior women starting in packaging, to then also give them the opportunity to grow and also to mentor them, have, I think, mentorships or or some kind of support groups are very important, and especially, women go through the phase of, maternity, being a young mother. So it's always important to have a role model or a group of support of maybe a little bit elder women further in the career to show them that it is possible. It is a hard phase, but you will get through this. And, I have to say I'm part of such a group myself as well. And it's inspiring always to talk to women maybe in their 50s or 55, and they always say, don't worry, this is just a phase, just hang on, keep your head up, and you will get through this, because it's tough to be a young mother, have a young child, and have aspirations to have a career as well. So it's good to know that this will change and things will get easier. So I think it's very important to have this network of women and as a mentors, and also just to exchange that you're not alone in this. And of course, it's also important for the companies to also move on with more family-friendly policies, which I think many companies are doing. Even BASF has KPIs for women in leadership. It's also very inspiring to see that that things are moving. But also, it's important to have this family-friendly mindset also in the leadership and in the management. So it's not only about the policies, but also really changing the mindset. But I think we are on the right path. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing that is a role that you could also see yourself in some years, taking on that role as mentor, as role model, and network kind of. Looking into the future, is there anything else you would wish for or hope for in the industry to change for women, or what would the maybe perfect future look like?
Yeah, I think the perfect future will look like that. When somebody is hired, they are hired by their skills and competencies, not because they are man or woman. So I think that's an aspiration that I have, but I think will take us some time, because we are so much far away from the 50-50 share. So of course, at this point, then we need to encourage more and more women, but make sure that we don't discourage young men as well. So this is also very important to show that, at the end, the aspiration is to focus on the qualities and the skills, and not only the gender.
Yeah. I guess in the end, it all boils down to equality, which is what we're kind of working towards. AFSANEH, thank you so much for coming and talking to us. That was very inspiring.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.